Good morning, everybody, and welcome to One World Sports Radio's broadcast of the test match, the rugby test match in the Women's World Cup between England and South Africa. I will shortly be joined by David Midgley, but in the meantime, as we watch the ladies singing their national anthems, let me take you through the team sheets. Remember, you can comment on our YouTube or Facebook channels, where we are going out live right now. You can also tweet us at OneWorldSR, and please go and support us at patreon.com/OneWorldSR. So the Springboks, lots of changes, which meant that I had a lot of work compiling the stats pack this week. So starting at number 1 is Sonelisiwe Charlie, Rosalind Boetes at hooker, Babawa Lacha at tight head prop, Nolusindoiso Boy, the captain, at number 4. Katha Jacobs at number 5. Lusanda Dumke and Leratu Makua are the 6 and 7. Aseza Hele, one of the standout players of the tournament for South Africa so far, at number 8. Taylor Kinsey at number 9. Zenay Jordan, the most experienced Springbok women, at number 10. Lidine Roos shifts to number 11. Chumisa Kawe and Simamkele Namba at centres. Number moving from the wing. Nomawetu Mabenge is still at number 14, and Eloise Webb in at 15. And then the formidable England side. The amount of caps that these ladies have under their belts are enormous and very impressive. Let's start at the front. Hannah Botterman, Connie Powell, and Maud Muir, the front three. And Rosalie Gilligan, Kath O'Donnell at number 4 and 5. Morena Telling and Marley Parker, the captain, at 6 and 7. Poppy Cleal at 8. Lucy Packer and Zoe Harrison, the 9 and 10 combination. Jessica Breach at number 11. Tatiana Hurd and Holly Aitchison at 12 and 13. Abigail Dow at 14 and Sarah McKenna at 15. The replacements for South Africa: number 16, Mika Gunter, Yonela Ntingolo, Aziza Mkiva are the prop replacements. Nompumelelo Mate, Sizopila Solonzi are the forward replacements, along with Rumandi Potgieter, Yaki Sillier, and Chuma Kawe, the twin sister of Chumisa, who's at number 12, rounds out the Springbok ladies replacements. And for England, Amy Cocaine, Vicky Cornborough, and Sarah Byrne are the front three replacements. Zoe Aldcroft, Sadia Kabeya, 19 and 20, 21 Leanne Infante, and 22 Emily Scarrett with 105 caps. Unbelievable. And Elena Roland at number 23. The weather forecast is about 13 degrees Celsius with the light breeze south-southwest at the Wakatere Stadium in Auckland. And it looks like the players are just about ready to kick off, as we will, as I said, soon be joined by David Midgley as well. So it looks like a really lovely day there. No chance of rain, no rain forecast at least. And England, having played South Africa 5 times in the past, have beaten South Africa all 5 times. So England, one of 8 nations in the world that South Africa ladies have never beaten. Let's hope that South Africa can do something about that today, but it is highly unlikely, as we see the number 1 ranked team, England, playing. South Africa are now ranked 13th in the world. South Africa will kick off, and they will play from left to right on our screens. And it will be Zenay Jordan, number 10, as we have one last gesture there from the players, taking a knee. At least the England players are. And South Africa ready to kick off. The referee for today is Lauren Jenner of New Zealand, with the kickoff now taking place. England take it up outside their 22 and they've lost it forward. So advantage South Africa for a scrum, as we see Nadine Roos getting the first receiver role there, as the ball is now knocked forward by South Africa in the middle of the park, just inside the 10-meter line of England. And a small mistake there by the English ladies means that South Africa have a scrum just outside the 22 on the far side of the field. And this is the final pool match of the Women's Rugby World Cup 2021, played in 2022. We see the first scrum of the match. Let's see if South Africa can stand up to these professional players from England. All of them professional rugby players, whereas South Africa are still sort of semi-professional. So Taylor Kinsey with the put in at scrum, holding steady as Kinsey sends it out into the hands of the number 13, Simon Kele number, I think it was there. Ball comes out again for South Africa to the near side of the park. They go up to the 22, and ball is recycled nicely. Good control of possession here by South Africa as they move it to the middle of the park. Kinsey again with the pass out to the far side, and it's a breaking tackle there. Number 8, Cesar Hele is up to the 10 meters outside the try line. The ball goes out wide now with a knock on there in the back line. It's advantage to England on the far side of the field, and they will have a put into the scrum about 10 meters away from their try line. Cesar Hele there breaking the tackle of the number 3, Maud Muir there, and making good yards here for South Africa before being stopped by Sarah McKenna and the final defenders, as the number 12 there, Chumisa Tawe, just knocked it on as she received the pass on the far side of the field. So that was a good passage of play there from South Africa, and they've set up the scrum about 10 meters inside the far side touchline and 10 meters from the England try line. And now it is Lucy Packer with the put into the scrum for England. Good solid scrum here. South Africa trying to put the shove on, but England holding firm. And Packer has the ball at the back of the scrum. The ball is out to the back line, and clearance kick by England brings play up to almost the halfway line. Good clearance kick there from, I think that was Zoe Harrison, number 10 for England. Coach Dave.
Absolutely.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
I am, and can you hear me, sir?
Yes. 100% perfect. 3 minutes gone, scoreless in Watakere Stadium in Auckland. And Rosaline Boertes will have to put in to the line out on the halfway line. Taken in by Sinisilwe Charlie. And it's the number 7, Dumke, taking it up. But South Africa have lost possession on the 10-meter line of England. England rumbling forward. And Packer has it out to Harrison, who kicks downfield to the middle of the park. And Nadine Roos is caught in possession just outside the 22 of South Africa in the middle of the park. And the ball goes out to Zanay Jordan, who kicks for the touchline but finds an English player on the halfway line. Storming forward are England now, and back onto inside the 10-meter line of South Africa, down the near side touchline up to the 22 they go before Holly Atchison, the number 13, is tackled. The ball is recycled over the 22. Now go England, 50 meters in from the near side touchline. Packer to the short side and brought down are the English players. Now the ball goes through the hands of some forwards out to the back line. Almost a line break there. Good defense by South Africa in the middle of the park, 15 meters from their own try line now. Another switch move by England in the middle of the field. And they're creeping closer to the South African try line. But the ball is lost there by England, and the referee will bring them back for, I think, a penalty. A player is down injured here for England. Yes, it's a penalty to England for offside play, but just inside the 22 of South Africa. And it was a head clash there that injured the English lady who went down. And so Aseza Hele there with contact to the head, and it's Hele that's down, in fact. And I saw the English player was down there for a while as well. So she's receiving attention. 5 minutes gone and still scoreless in Auckland.
Yeah, it was an uncomfortable looking replay for us to watch here. Aseza Hele having had 2 very good games, starting in the referee's bad books early on here at Waikatere. Just under 5 minutes in this game. South Africa coming up against the world's best, and you can see the difference in the way that England set up their play. Far more structured, and they know exactly to whom they are meant to pass.
Yes, it was evident with the game against France as well. South Africa managing to hold their own up until about 15, 20 minutes from the end. So let's hope that South Africa can put up a decent fight at least today. Looking at the record through the history books, those 5 losses to England, some of them have been quite heavy, especially the first 2. The first match played in 2005 with England beating South Africa 101 zip. So let's hope that it can be as close as it was, at least in 2013 when England won 18-17. So it's an upward trend for South Africa, I must say. But it's been a long time since these ladies have played one another. Probably very few of these players did play in that 2013 match. So England were put into the line out on the 5-meter line. They set them all, and South Africa managed to push them all back a little bit, but it's rumbling forward with a sense of inevitability about it. Moving to the side now, South Africa defending for all they're worth. England rumbling forward once again, and over the try line they go. And it will be Connie Powell, the hooker, no doubt, that will come up with that try. And that was an extremely well-drilled maul there by England. A very impressive team they are.
Yeah, it was just perfectly structured. You knew exactly that, like you said, Otto, it had a sense of inevitability there, and it was only a matter of time before Rosie Gallagher would cross for her first try of the match.
So that's the number 4 that stood up with the ball in hand. Well spotted there, David. Thanks for that. So she has 7 test matches to her name. One of the lesser experienced players in this England team today. 5-0 is the score as Zoe Harrison misses the conversion. And 6.5 minutes gone in the first half. So South Africa will have the kickoff. 6.5 minutes and 5 points. So South Africa need to find an answer here. It looked like they almost managed to defend that maul, but in the end, this English forward pack, just looking at the experience here, it is a massive difference. South Africa with a kickoff to the far side of the park, gathered in there by England, and they set up the ruck outside their 22. They come forward now to the middle of the park and brought down just inside their own 10-meter line, and it's another penalty to England. Not sure what this one was for. Playing the ball on the ground, it seems. And Zoe Harrison with 42 tests to her name. That is that's 7 more than Zoe Harrison, South Africa's most experienced player. So Hele now with the counter-attack for South Africa in the middle of the park, just crosses over the 10-meter line. The ball is recycled to Nadine Roos, who kicks this with the right foot way downfield. And the ball is going to roll over the near side touchline just outside the 22. So South Africa, it looked like they took that line out quickly and into the hands of their star forward, Asiza Hele, the number 8, rumbling it up once again. England would put into the line out. 8 minutes gone, just outside their 22. And the referee not happy with the line out there as the ball is taken at the back, not happy with the spacing. So the New Zealand referee here asserting her mark on the match. She wants things to be a little bit more organized in the line out. And Connie Powell for England, number 2, has the throw. And this time England go to the front, and it's into the hands of Packer, out to the back line, into the middle of the park. England tackled just outside the 22. Packer once again back to Zoe Harrison, who kicks this into the near side touchline, just out inside the half of South Africa. Now it's Mabenge for South Africa, storming forward, the number 14, and she's up to the 10-meter line. This time Kinsey sends it out to the forward standing in the back line. Kinsey once again to the far side, rumbling it up. South Africa once again better control of the ball than we've seen in the previous matches, and there's a line break there for South Africa. by the number 12, Chumisa Tawe, and she's over the 10-meter line, and the ball is recycled into the hands of Boy, the captain, number 4. Once again, good defense by England, and Zane Jordan sends it down the back line. And is Mabenga going to get it? Yes, she gets past the first tackler. She's brought down by the number 15, McKenna, on the 15-meter line from the near side touchline on the 22 of England. It's a penalty to South Africa for England going off their feet at the ruck there. But South Africa finding some holes in the England defense. 9.5 minutes gone. And the players leaving their feet there at the ruck. And South Africa have the penalty. What are they going to do? They're going to go for the points? No, they're going to go for the touchline. Gutsy play here by South Africa. I would have definitely gone for the 3. But they seem to think they might have a crack in the defense here. Some good footwork there by Mabenga in 2 movements means that South Africa have a line out 5 meters from the England try line. Well, just outside the 5-meter line, and it's a bit scrappy at the back there in the line out for South Africa, but gathered and controlled. Now with the ruck set up about 7 meters from the English try line, 5 meters from the near side touch line. South Africa go forward once again, slowly but surely. David, take us through the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a bit of uneven play here from both sides, and it ends up, I'm slightly ahead of you, but I'll bring us up to speed. South Africa not able to retain possession at ruck time, and England immediately overturning, South Africa being penalized, and the opportunity for the Springbok ladies to get over the whitewash has now disappeared. So 5 points to 0 is where England leads South Africa, with 4 seconds remaining before the clock ticks over for 11 minutes. Both teams now in a huddle having a discussion, maybe just saying for the English ladies, the South Africans have a lot of space. If you let them have the gap, they will steal it away. South Africans, perhaps when we have the opportunity to go forward, we must make the most of it. It is a glorious day in Auckland, New Zealand, Waikatere Stadium. Aotearoa is what New Zealand's also locally known as, but this is a great day for rugby. A lot cooler than you would traditionally expect, but this is New Zealand, and so summer temperatures or spring temperatures are not that similar to their Oceania neighbors, the other side of the Tasman Sea. It is a day in which South Africa would love to overturn their form. Otto spoke about it. The South African inability to cross the line against these English Roses, but the English Roses have had a wonderful year. They've certainly got a favourites tag attached to them, and they will want to go all the way. Still a little bit of a delay here. And finally, we have the ladies squaring up now for the scrum time. It'll be an English feed. Lucy Packer, who plies her trade at Harlequins, earning her 7th cap today. So she'll want to make a statement here. Her opposite number, Kinsey, eyeing up any opportunity to steal it away. Picked up at the back by Poppy Cleal. Away she goes. Hands it off in the middle of the park. She's trying to support her number 12, Tatiana Hurd. England at the back with Packer. Kicked away to the far side. In some space, but Eloise Webb clears it up for South Africa. Thumps it back the direction of the England number 10, Zoe Harrison. And it's a bit of ping-pong rugby here at the moment. You have it. No, you have it. Back again goes Kinsey. Oh, there's a bit of a drop catch back there. But Abigail Dow, who plays for Wasps Women, deciding she doesn't want to kick it back. She's going to run at Aseza Hele. Slips away from 2 tackles. Retains possession. Referee saying, just hold your line there, ladies. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Hand it off from Cleal. Now England without numbers in the middle of the park, but they managed to break away from 1 and 2. And a referee saying, no, there's obstruction there, and South Africa will have a penalty just on the 10-meter line. So England women with a couple of ill-disciplined activities early on here in this game or two, and it could signal a crack in the door for the South Africans to perhaps get some points if they can retain at ruck time.
Yeah, once again, South Africa not going for the points. It does seem that South Africa are finding gaps in the English defence. You're right, David. I've noticed that as well. 13 minutes gone. Line out on the near side touchline. Inside the 22 now. Let's go, South Africa. Come on, Boka.
For the South Africans, notably Rosaline Buertes replacing Gwala with the number 2 jersey. Another one, Eloise Webb is replacing Nadine Roos at the back. Roos going out to the number 11 position because there were a number of injuries which meant rotations. Simam Keller Namba is normally your left wing as the referee's just going to have a look at the TV match officials' thoughts and see what they have to say. Perhaps she's not seeing something or seeing something that she'd like queried, but her colleagues with the flags, just having a look here, maybe there is something for the TMO Lee Jeffrey, a fellow Kiwi rather, just to see if there is something there.
No, you see, I don't like this. I mean, the player is Katha Jacobs there, the number 5, making contact with her shoulder to the face of the English attacker. But, I mean, you can just run in and, you know, aim for the shoulder of your defender and you'll get them sent off. That's ridiculous. But, yeah, she is a bit high in her body position there, Katha Jacobs. She might be in trouble here.
Yeah, absolutely. A good bit of support work there from Nolusindi Soboy, South Africa's skipper, plying her trade at Western Province. And but yeah, in that tackle, Otto, it doesn't look healthy. There's no arms blatantly obvious there for the referee to see. So I think as much as Katha Jacobs is hanging out with her teammates, she might need to turn around and look at the referee. I suppose it's one of those that if you don't see me, I don't see you type thing. Or, you know, if I can't see you, you can't see me. So
see me.
Close your eyes and hope that the referee doesn't call you over. But Cindy Boyd just having a conversation with her team, her pack of forwards. Now the referee's summoning Katha Jacobs, as well as Cindy Boy and the England captain Marley Packer, my apologies. There's a long delay here, Otto, in the first half, and eventually the yellow card is forthcoming. So Katha Jacobs makes her way off. No arms tackle is likely to be the conversation in that little chat there. So she'll come back on the 23-minute mark, and England will have the penalty because of the no arms tackle. So reversal now as Zoe Harrison will look to find touch on the far side. 13 minutes gone, 5 points to 0. If you want to support us, please do. Patreon.com/OneWorldSR, as well as just by watching, you can support the awesome team here at One World Sports Radio. Go to the Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, we're all there, and make sure you subscribe. Ding the bell so that you know when we go live for every single moment. Right, line out, far side of the park, just inside the South African half. Good take by Galligan at the jumper's position. Midway through, South Africa smashing tackle in the middle of the park by Kawe. On the halfway line now for Packer to go to the near side. Good bit of support work there from the English as they get over the half, the 10-meter line rather, as Poppy Cleel fumbles it forward, and so there'll be a knock-on scrum to South Africa.
William Albert says, thank you for the live broadcast. I assume the Springbok women have shown some ability to get over the advantage line. Good play, South Africa. Well spotted there, William. It's something that we picked up as well, that there is some cracks in the Roses' defence. But it's a scrum now to South Africa, about 8 meters in from the near side touchline on the South African 10-meter line, and they will have to put into the scrum. 14 and a half minutes gone. 5-0 to England.
A pseudonym for the bone collector, Willem Alberts, maybe. Thank you, William Owen,
Yes.
for joining us. Right, feed now for the scrum. Wheeling through 90, and England will get a penalty. A smashing scrum from the Red Roses, dominating the Springboks there. I don't think the Springboks were mentally prepared for that one. They just came into that and immediately collapsed under the weight. This one is thumped over the near side touchline between 22 and the try line. What a scrum from the Roses.
Yeah, just absolute dominance there. And South Africa conceding a penalty.
Oh, there's a bit of a knock back there from the jumper in the line-out. So England retain possession as they try to look forward to go into that dangerous zone from their positioning. Right, and the South Africans have turned the ball over inside their own 22, and no release there. Great bit of work there from the South Africans to smother that ball, and now they have a get-out-of-jail-free card here. What a bit of ingenuity and awareness, game awareness, or to snipe in there and smother things for the Springboks.
Yes, indeed. Eloise Webb with the kick, and she does not find touch.
But knocked backwards, and then I thought she'd knocked it forward there, did Sarah McKenna. Referee not interested, but South Africa working hard on the halfway line. Packer through to Cleo, running into a South African hand, and it's a penalty advantage for knock-on. Now they have the ball. Kinsey on halfway, looks for a forward and finds exactly the person she was seeking. Just short of halfway, into the hands of Eloise Webb, through the hands of Simamkele Namba. But running out of space is Rus on the left-hand wing. Cuts back inside, over the halfway line. Kinsey pushing her forwards to move forward. Asezahela breaks one. Is brought down by the second on the 10-meter line. Kinsey again having to try and dig out the back, and the English have turned the ball over. No release there from the Springbok number 8, Asezahela. So England can retain possession now, or collect possession rather.
Some promising play by South Africa, managing to get over the advantage line, as William pointed out as well. But that was a bad mistake, and this time a mistake by England not finding touch on the near side.
Yeah. Running into Jessica Breach on this near side touchline. Kinsey finds it at the back, sends it away to Hele. Hands off one, but is immediately swamped again. Good bit of ruck work. Kinsey from the back of the ruck into a bit of space there outside the 22-meter line. Who's chasing? No one, because it'll go out over the near side line, and England will have the put in. No one really chasing those down. You've got to have somebody who's on top of those opportunities when you kick it away. Powell, Connie Powell, immediately throwing it in. Quick line out here by the English. Breakaway 1, breakaway 2. Then the ball is lost. South Africa with possession. Knock-on penalty advantage. Packer, the one giving it away for the English. South Africa now running into their own player. But support there for Lacha as she's brought down on the 10-meter line. Kinsey sends it to a forward who draws in one. Kinsey now going to the other side, near side of the park, with support for Eloise Webb. Cross kick to find some vacant land. Again, South Africa find themselves almost exactly where they were a couple of moments ago.
What a kick by Eloise Webb. So good to see. Spotting some space there behind the left wing of the English team. And England back in their own 22. 18 and a half minutes gone.
Wasn't the selection for the boot, as we see a substitution for the South Africans. Number 20, Sizopila Solonsi, coming on the park for Asezahela. She picked up an injury, did Hele, and so that's why she makes her way off the park. Inside their own 22, and South Africa will get a penalty. Looks like a knock-on there from the line-out. So South Africa with an opportunity to collect points. Do they go for the corner? Do they go for the 3 points? Otto Simon.
They've got to go for the 3 here, David. They've been visiting the opposition half. Oh, well, this is a knock-on, I think, so it'll be a scrum. But 2 penalties, which looked to me at least to be kickable. But with Libby Janssen van Rensburg not in the team, maybe Zenay Jordan or Eloise Webb not really looking to go for poles. I mean, Zonay Jordan, 12 conversions and 3 penalty kicks in her career. She is an able kicker. And Tyler Kinsey as well. 16 conversions and 2 penalties in her test career of 23 tests. So we've got ladies on the park that can kick. Why they are not doing that, I'm not sure. But this is a scrum, 19 minutes gone now, 5-0, England lead. And 5 handling errors to England and 2 only to South Africa so far. So England making a lot of mistakes here, keeping South Africa in the game.
The attacker in me just says, put the number 10 in the pocket, slot the drop goal, turn and go.
Yes.
Not
Let's
a bad
get back and do it again. Rinse and repeat.
Tied up here. So, scrum set. Feed from Kinsey. How are the South Africans going to stand up here? Again, they're being punished by the English Roses. Is there going to be a turn of a ball? Referee penalty. 20 seconds left to the 20 minutes. And Otto will take us through the next passage of play. Great scrum by the Roses. And a bit of words afterwards.
Oh, my goodness. That was just absolutely domination by England. They get the scrum penalty and they kick it to the near side of the park, just about inside their own half. South Africa just folding up like a piece of paper there. England with a put into the line out, stolen by South Africa, but England through Bottomman have possession up to the 10-meter line, over the 10-meter line. Now they go breaking through. The first is Rosie Gallagher. And the ball goes down the back line to the far side of the park. Over the halfway line go England now, brought down just inside the South African half. And it's another knock-on by England. Another promising attack by the Roses. And there's a shake of the head there by Marley Packer, the England captain. She's not happy. And no English fan can be happy with the display so far. That's the 6th knock-on from this England team in the first, 21 minutes of this match, and losing the ball in contact again. And I'm not sure we saw the knock on there, but the referees saw it. But now, unfortunately for South Africa, it's another scrum. Let's see if they can stand up this time to the might of the English. This forward pack you can see the difference in size just by these two teams lining up for the scrum. The English ladies far more athletic and conditioned, looking a lot more solid, I should say. But there's a significant size difference between the South Africa and the South African and English front rows. And as it goes throughout the pack, so it's a tough job here for South Africa. 22 minutes gone, 5-0. Is the score. England lead in the Watakere Stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. Kinsey with a put into the scrum. They need to get this out quickly, but they once again just absolutely pummeled by the English ladies. Jeez Louise, it's just going from bad to worse here for South Africa, and that's a walkover. I mean, that's not even a contest. That's just it looks like they're scrumming against high school girls, the English ladies, and they get the scrum penalty once again. Yep, absolutely, just disappearing. Yeah, and doesn't help that
Jacobs on the field.
Missing a lock, and the maul is set by England. South Africa trying to get the obstruction call there in the maul, but England just walking forward with one South African lady making contact. It does become a maul. And now England have the penalty for collapsing the maul. South Africa found guilty there by the referee. Packer sending it to the centre, and England up to the try line, and over goes. That is the number 8, Poppy Cleal, who stands up with the try. So 2 phases after the line-out maul was dragged down by South Africa, illegally so. England have a try just to the right of the right-hand upright, and it'll be an easy conversion. Poppy Cleal gets the ball from the second phase and just rumbles over with 2 South African defenders trying to hang on. And, Oh, South Africa, don't drop your heads now, ladies. Come on. Put up a fight here for us. 10-0 is the score with a kick to come. Harrison lining it up, the number 10. She's missed one kick conversion already. And this one is much easier. Steps forward with the right boot, sails sweetly through the air and through the sticks. 24 minutes gone, 12-0 to England. And let's hope that South Africa can stop the floodgates, because if England stop making mistakes, well, they can knock on the ball. It doesn't matter, because they'll just get the scrum penalty. So let's see if South Africa can stand up to them. And the yellow card is gone for South Africa. And Shibu Rapudi, unfortunately, we are live audio commentary only with a kickoff by Jordan to the far side of the park. Nadine Roos is there, makes the tackle, and England set up the ruck just outside their 22 on the far side of the park. They come to the near side now and brought down 15 meters in from the far side touchline. Now it's down the back line go England, and it's an interception by Mabenge, but she's brought back by the referee. And what will the referee say about that? It's a penalty for a deliberate knockdown. So unfortunately for South Africa,
it was a valiant attempt, Otto, because if she'd caught it, she would have been A for away, and South Africa would have had their first points on the board. So I suppose you've got to just commend her for at least being in the space to effect an intercept, and the confidence to go for it, but just out of reach. So
Connie Powell with the throw-in for England on the near side of the park, on the halfway line, and that is a bit of a skew throw there. The referees have been really tight on the line-out throws in the past few weeks, and definitely in this tournament. So slightly skew there by England, going to the back of the line-out. There is a slight breeze, and so South Africa have opted for the line-out, wisely so. And Aseza Hele there, she's beaten 19 defenders in the World Cup, and she's top of the defenders beaten list for the tournament. This one is put in by South Africa, but it's into the hands of Lucy Packer for England. It makes it over the 10-meter line, and there's a knock-on by South Africa as they try to do the counter-ruck, but England will have a put into the scrum. So let's see if South Africa can just hold their own here with Hele back on the field, Cather Jacobs back on the field. Hopefully their scrum will stand up.
It was blood-bin replacement. That's why we have Aseza Hele back on the park. And if she had just been able to retain it, it would have been a great steal by South Africa's number 8. You spoke about her having beaten the most defenders. She's just had a sublime World Cup, and it's a shame that the South African women will be going home after this this outing. 27 minutes now played. Feed for
12-0 to England. Packer with the put into the scrum for England. This time South Africa's scrum holds up a lot better, but they do concede another penalty from the scrum here. And England will take a penalty on the 10-meter line of South Africa. And it's for collapsing the scrum once again. And South Africa just... penalty count is now 9-2, I think, in favor of, well, for South Africa, conceding 9 penalties in the match so far. And play will resume with England throwing the ball into the line out, 10 meters out from South Africa's try line. And the maul goes rumbling forward. South Africa trying to push the maul to the try line. There's already a penalty advantage for England, as Packer at the back tries to get the ball out of that maul, but the referee says side entry to that maul, and it's a penalty to England. And 28 minutes gone now, 12-0 to South Africa, with England no doubt setting up another line out. And let's see if South Africa can defend the inevitable maul that will result here. Connie Powell with the throw to the middle of the line out. The maul is set and it's sacked immediately, but the referee not happy with that. And England go set up another maul here, and they go rumbling forward. South Africa manage to stop this one, but still with the penalty advantage. England's maul now being pushed back, and they move forward now once again over the 5-meter line. They go forward, steadily forward, go England, and they burst through and over the try line. The try is awarded. 29 minutes gone, 17 points to 0. England lead. And South Africa's captain is to rub salt into the wounds, getting a talking to here by the referee, and final team warning to Nolosindiso Boy for South Africa, and tempted to sack that maul immediately, but the referee not happy with that. I thought that was quick enough.
I think it was Katha Jacobs there, just pulling the jumper down immediately as she came down. And it's such a delicate art, because if you get it right and the referee doesn't see it, you're A for away and you've defended. But in that instance, the Kiwi ref saying, no, not for you. Sorry, not acceptable. 17 points to 0.
Zoe Harrison with the conversion attempt. It's wide of the right-hand upright, so the score remains 17 points to 0. Rose Gallagher there credited with that try, the number 4, her second of the night, and her second in the tournament, and second in her career. So a nice little stat there for you.
A brace.
Take us through the next 10 minutes to halftime, please, David.
Zene Jordan, South Africa's experienced campaigner, 35 caps before this game, 98 points. She could pick up the 100. She hoiks this one. It's a short one, and England are able to collect quite comfortably. A bit of follow-up work there with Roos and Eloise Webb, trying to disrupt the England play. Picked up after a bumbled pass, and away she goes. England in the middle of the park, and South Africa leaping on the breaking England player. Can they move it forward with Bottomman? She's beaten one tackler, but immediately the difference between South Africa and England is the support at ruck time. Marley Packer, England's proud captain, over the halfway line. Penalty advantage, not releasing. Or rather, playing the ball on the ruck, in the ruck. Goes to the far side, going through the hands now. Atchison looking for Abigail Dow. Kicks this ahead, but South Africa will have the ball, and I'm surprised the referee forgot about her own advantage. Now the referee saying not rolling away by the South Africans. I honestly thought, Otto, with the South Africans retaining possession there very briefly, I thought she'd forgotten about her own advantage and that they would go back.
Yeah, 11 penalties now to 2. So 11 penalties conceded by South Africa. And it's just domination by England that's forcing South Africa into these mistakes.
Yeah, because you see there that was a pickup there from Eloise Webb, and I thought that there was a penalty advantage implemented by the referee. Quick throw there by the English women. Connie Powell. Penalty advantage, sacked again by Nolosindiso Boy this time after the warning from the referee, and there's almost certainly a yellow card coming. Over the try line! And England have another 5 points, 22 points to 0, and 32 minutes gone. Referee whips out the yellow card and says, cheers, I'll see you later.
The captain is sent off, Nolosindiso Boy. Repeated team warnings. The final team warning was given by the referee with the last maul try. And let's see who it is this time. England players lining up to be the final ball carrier in that maul. And just absolutely pummeling South Africa here. I think that looked to me like...
Wenna Talling, maybe?
Yeah, Talling. Number 6, yeah. It looked to me like she was the one that went over. Zoe Harrison with her 4th kick attempt of the match. 33 minutes gone. 22-0 is the score.
England also picking up a bonus point with that one. Can she slot it? Kobe through the sticks. 33 minutes gone at Wakatere in Auckland, New Zealand. My name is David Midgley. Alongside me is Otto Simon. And if you want to support us, please, www.patreon.com/OneWorldSR. Support us by watching, by streaming, by joining us every single game that we bring you live. We will never bring you delayed game. That's not how we operate.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for being with us.
Yes.
As well.
Just listening to us is probably the best way you can support us. So thank you very much for listening. Make sure that you switch on the notifications on YouTube so that you know when we go live. We're trying to get our ducks in a row for the Men's Cricket World Cup, but it doesn't look like we're going to do a lot of those games. If we find a sponsor or some advertisers, we will definitely take a look at it. But in the meantime, the rugby broadcasts will go ahead. And you're also welcome to join our commentary team. You can send your details through to admin@1wsr.com. And Mr. Simon Gear will pick it up there and see if you have what it takes to be a part-time sports commentator on One World Sports Radio with several of our previous ex-colleagues moving on to greater things. If you want to move into the broadcasting world, this is a great place to start. And our standards are not really that high, so you'll probably get a look in for a few games at least. Right,
kickoff now by the South Africans. Good take there. Good catch, rather, by Marley Packer. South Africans having to work hard here to keep her quiet. Kicked away by Harrison through the middle of the park towards the near side of the park. Jordan with a clean-up work. Can she get some forward momentum? Good idea, and a great bit of catching there by the player in the middle of the park and not releasing, meaning that England get a penalty through Tatiana. Her great bit of work there. She just snuck in there like a thief in the night and stole away that one. If you're also worried about the next rugby broadcast, 5 November, Aviva Stadium in Ireland is where South Africa men will be playing for the end of year tour. So just 12 days away now. But good bit of work there from the English to snack that one away. 24 points to 0. 34 and 3/4 minutes gone. Good throw, good catch. And the maul that South Africa have been struggling to defend continues to move forward. Sacked once again. The referee saying penalty advantage coming. Who's got the ball at the back? Try by the English. They were like a bus without brakes, and a great bit of work there from the English to hammer over that try line. And it means that another maul try, 5 now from the English, and South Africa have no answer as yet.
Absolutely not even a question in response to the questions asked by England. England just absolutely dominating South Africa here. And that is Connie Powell that has the try there for England, the hooker. 29-0 now the score with the kick to come. 36 minutes gone.
Yeah, it's a tough one here for Zoe Harrison. She struggled. Only 2 out of the 4 going over, with the wind gusting, and she shanks it to the left hand upright, and so she just turns and runs. But Connie Powell having a wonderful game, making sure those throws are excellent, just accuracy where possible. You can see with
just the one mistake so far.
Yes, with the
very
one
technical
throw,
call.
but
Yeah,
you can see with the hair there that the wind is blowing quite gustily, and so that's why she had that challenge, but rectifying it immediately. Jordan with the kickoff once again, a little bit deeper this time on the 22-meter line. Tulling already has 1 try to her name, knocked back, and South Africa have possession. Now there's nobody at home, and so Lusanda Dumke having to provide the number 9 duties. Attempted steal there from Bottomman, but South Africa with a good counter-ruck. Kinsey back at her traditional number 9 position. Referee saying, let go of the ball. And she does. Kinsey again, looking for some options. Nearly an intercept from the English. Good bit of work there from Simamkela Namba to retain possession. Somebody else having to do the work at the back. Kinsey back where she needs to be. Kinsey to the near side this time. She looks for some support, but only finding back players. 6th phase now for the Springboks. Into the 7th we go. Hele brought down, not able to break away through the tackle. South Africa seemingly going backwards here from this great bit of defensive work from the Springboks. There's a knock forward there, and the referee will blow the whistle for a scrum. And South Africa's poor handling there by, it looks like Nadine Roos, the left wing, costing them in an opportunity to get some forward momentum. They almost seemed like they were flat or even going backwards. But in the end, there's South Africans handling, letting them down.
Yeah, it's a pity, but things are just going from bad to worse. As I said before, for South Africa, 4 minutes of the captain's yellow card left. 2 minutes left in the first half, and South Africa 29-0 behind England, showing no mercy as they should, being the number 1 ranked team in the world, playing against the number 13 ranked team.
Yeah, South Africa dropping down 2 places after that loss to Fiji, who are 21 in the world. Right, England now through the hands of Packer, go to Harrison, who kicks this downfield, doesn't find touch, and so Eloise Webb hoofs this back downfield. And will it be a bit of ping-pong rugby? No, it won't. Good forward momentum, handing off Katha Jacobs. Good pass off there to Tatiana Hurd. Just her 6th cap today in this game. South Africa storming away and nearly stealing the ball there. Great bit of work, and it has been stolen by Hele. She's got good work there to break through. Number with no support though. Now England turning over the ball, and South Africa have a penalty advantage. Yes, now South Africa with an opportunity to do something for it. Not rolling away from the English player, and it was Hannah Botterman for Saracens that is guilty, joining the ruck incorrectly. Trying to remonstrate with the referee, but the referee's having none of it.
Yeah, no, I don't understand. Well, these are professional players, so they're probably used to remonstrating with the referee. But it's like arguing about the price of a beer with the barman. 29 points to 0. 10 seconds left on the official time clock as Eloise Webb kicks this to the near side touchline for the line-out set. South Africa into the 22 of England once again. Still no points to show for it.
Yeah, Border ladies player there. Just her 10th cap today, but she's got 30 points already to her name. 6 tries, and so she's certainly contributing. The hooter has now gone at Waikatere in Auckland. Katha Jacobs pleading with her forwards to move quickly because the English are saying, come on. Throw was taken, referee not happy with it, and it'll be a turnover ball. The incorrect amount of players in at the line-out means England will have the penalty, and they will most certainly kick it away for the half-time hooter. 29 points to 0. Yeah, tap and go, and she thumps it into the near side stands. That will be the end of the first half. South Africa trail 29 points to 0, and a simple school-like error there from the South Africans not having the correct amount in the line-out. Drifting is what you might describe it as. Katha Jacobs pleading for her teammates to move quicker into the line-out, but not the case, and so they try to take it quickly, not available, and that is half-time at Waikatere in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Yeah, it's really disappointing, but not unexpected display by South Africa so far in comparison to England. They're struggling in the scrums. They're struggling with their line-out. That line-out also, the throw not going 5 meters. So even if they had the correct number of players, they still would have been in trouble there, I think. What else is there to say? England making a lot of handling errors, keeping South Africa in the match there for the first 20 or so minutes, but then after that, it was just absolute domination by England, physical and tactical domination by the English ladies. And you can see why They are the number one ranked team in the world. They have all pro players. I mean, just look at these caps on the bench for England. This is their replacement front row. Amy Cocaine, 66 tests. Vicky Cornborough, the prop replacement, 72. And Sarah Byrne, 48 caps. I mean, those three players probably have close to the same amount of test matches as the whole South African team. And if you add Emily Scarrett to that with 105 tests, I mean, we don't have a player that's even close to 50. So that's the difference, and it's reflected on the scoreboard as well. Anything else you want to say, David, before we take a break?
No, don't go anywhere. Enjoy our lunchtime interval work, our halftime orange slices, so to speak, and we'll be back with you very soon.
Cheers.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cheap Seats. This is your weekly Premier League show. My name is Mpho. I've got Dean, I've got AB. We talk all things happening in the Premier League. This week was a little bit of a slow week because Nottingham Forest didn't fire their coach. They actually gave him an extension. And then they decided to fire the scout and everyone else. So it was a little bit weird, but they brought 22 players in, so that's another story. But I think the big story that has Premier League situation or Premier League links to it is the Kylian Mbappe story. So I thought we'd lead with that. But we're also going to talk about Liverpool and how this derby with Manchester City has now become more of a damn squib. You know, from one of the most sought-after games in the world to being a, oh Lord, how much are they going to catch type of game? But we're going to talk about that later on. Before we continue, remember the show is sponsored by Classic Shirts ZA. And this week's shirt of the week, to remind you that we're going into the World Cup. We got a team that's hoping to be world champions once more. Brazil's 2022 World Cup kit. The blue one looks like a lizard. But the home one, I like the little, the little collar there, the victory collar for all you golfers, the Tiger Woods-esque collar. And yeah, look, I don't know if the Sellers are going to win the World Cup, but they'll be looking pretty good. Jens, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, is that Jaguar print on the blue one? Yes. Is that what it's supposed to be? I mean, it's interesting, but I mean, you can't go wrong with a classic yellow, green trim Brazil kit. Like, it's just, that is the GOAT. So, be interesting.
Look,
it'll be interesting to see Richarlison in it, my boy.
No.
Now I can support Brazil.
Well, the question is whether Martinelli or Antony are going to be wearing it. So I think with Brazil's World Cup selections, it's going to probably come down to whether Martinelli or Antony are going to go to the World Cup. So it's going to be dependent on how it happens. Obviously, I don't want the other Gabriel to go our centre back. I think he'd rather just chill on the beach in Dubai. But hey,
they
it's
all
the
go
World Cup.
to Brazil.
Do you know what the worst? Do you know what the worst thing about this week was, right? Trent got injured in the derby that Arsenal won, top of the log, well done. Woo-hoo. But the other thing was, Reece James also got injured. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, who's going to start at right back for England? And I was like, don't say it.
Obviously,
Ben White.
Boy.
Oh.
That'll be, yeah. He plays well on the right, though, to be fair. So
he's gotten better. Like at the start of the season, he didn't want to. He was so afraid to go around and help Saka, like with those little passes around behind him, to kind of stretch the defense. But he's look. We're gonna talk about FPL, but look, he's a good FPL thing, and he's pushed Omiasi to the left. So that's another story for another day.
Look, guys, it must be so nice to have international players in your team.
Well, you do. Casemiro, you've got Fred. You're benching them. You've
Ronaldo.
got. You know,
all the
Mr. 700. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. This week we woke up on Monday or sometime on Monday, we were at work and we found out that Kylian Mbappe told Paris Saint-Germain that actually, I want out. This is 6 months after him signing up to be their general manager. I don't know, player manager type of vibe. and supposedly they didn't promise him, they didn't fulfill the promises that he done. And I'm like, but dude, it's like not even 6 months yet, it's like 3, and you're wanting out. So he wants out. So now this is like the Kevin Durant trade in the NBA. When a player like this goes, you now try to figure out how the hell you're going to get him. Doesn't matter who you are, even if you're Kaiser Chiefs, you need to figure out a package for Kylian Mbappe to bring him here to South Africa. But I was thinking, wait, hold up. But the Premier League is the richest league in the world. He's watching Erling Haaland tear it up in this league, and he must be like, ooh, that's another Farmers League. Maybe I should go and join. So my question to you guys is, what do you do? So in the top 6, he can fit anywhere, but which is the most likely club in the top 6 to go to Paris and be like, here's a package for you, Kylian, come over?
I mean, that is United all over.
No.
All over. That is. Let's get the fans back. Let's do what we need. Mbappe, our boy. He's probably going to come out and say, I've supported United since I was young, and become one of their players. But I also heard that there's rumors of like a Salah swap with Liverpool, which maybe, but realistically, for me, I think everyone looks at his PSG situation and goes, I don't want someone like that in my changing room.
But Dean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Regardless of whether this is a guy, I think he's 24 or 20. I don't know how old he is. Like 23. Still a young guy. He may be a prima donna, but he can help you compete in this league with. And so I was sitting there going, wait. There's a dumpster fire team. There's a team that can handle this type of player. And to me, if Todd Bowley isn't in Paris right now, trying to sell Christian Pulisic to PSG, it's a problem. Because here's the thing, right? Mbappe doesn't want to play the number 9. He wants to play the 10, right? So you can have Aubameyang up front. You can have Mbappe in the middle. You can even send Kai Havertz to Paris. That's where dreams go to die. Kai Havertz hasn't done well. Send him to Paris, you know? No, but this makes because Chelsea are in a situation where they're trying to go young, so try to get rid of the oldies. You can even send Thiago Silva back. I'm sure they'd take him. And so for me, like I'd love him at Arsenal, but I don't want to break up, as you say, Dean. I don't want to break up that whole thing that Arteta's gone.
Aubameyang says Arteta can't handle big personalities, so
that's one of the reasons why I don't want him there. But if he ever said I want to go to Arsenal, best believe I am selling my future. Well, I'm giving them Martinelli and I'm bringing Mbappe in with a whole lot of cash. But I look at Chelsea and I'm like, because I look at Man City, I'm like, okay, Man City, they don't need to be too desperate because they've got this guy, this robot.
You've already got one of the 2 next greatest players that we can see. So,
but it's for me, AB, it's Chelsea, it's Manchester United, and to a certain extent, if Tottenham could do it, I would do it.
I don't think he doesn't. He won't come to Tottenham. There's been jokes where people have said, oh, Mbappe, you want to go to Tottenham? And he's come out and said, thanks, but no thanks. So I don't want a player at my club that is already saying I'm above you before he's probably even knows how to get to the stadium. So if Tottenham make that move, no thanks. But I hear what you're saying. I think the Chelsea move probably makes a whole lot more sense now that you talk about it with the Todd Bowley situation. But I also think Newcastle could be, well, I know a lot of people are saying Newcastle because of the money that they have to sort of splash at someone like that. But whether they will or can, I don't know. I don't think so.
No, but okay. So, AB, if you look at Liverpool, if you look at Mbappe, right? Mbappe needs a place to kind of sit until Real Madrid say, we've got the money to bring you on, right? Wouldn't a Newcastle be a good enough option? Because I know obviously you can't go for the top 6, but Newcastle will pay him his ridiculous wages. Newcastle will make like it would be a waste for a footballing fan, but it would be so great for the Newcastle faithful to have this guy on a rental.
So on a rental, my goodness. What about Barca pulling another lever somewhere. Surely there's a lever.
No. No.
Guys,
There's got to be a lever somewhere.
But
in
there
that.
is a lever.
But AB, why don't you want him at Manchester United? He sells shirts. He's Ballon d'Or. Like, you'll have a Ballon d'Or winner. Send Martial.
The problem is that like this is such a Man United target for that ball. Like they're just thinking, how are we going to replace Ronaldo? Like, or how are we going to make Ronaldo happy? And this guy's right there. So I can see United going and throwing 100+ mil.
I don't think it's going to be 100. I think it might be 250.
I can see United doing this because the Glazers are the Glazers. They want a star. He's young, so and to fight that Terminator down the road, you know, this guy, he's the closest thing. He's also a Terminator. Yeah. He's like a quick Terminator. He's not a strong Terminator, but he's like the Terminator 3 version, but that she was a lady. So I don't know. He's actually
he's the Ninja Turtle. That's what he is. He's a teenager. He's the Ninja Turtle.
It's a weird crossover. But guys, I don't know. Like, there's rumors of him also being able to cancel his contract for free. So I think that could change things if he can get out of his new contract, because there's lawyers getting involved now. Then all bets are off, because then the Liverpool start to put up their hands, and the Real Madrid obviously start to put up their hands. But
do you guys think? But Abe, do you think surely you can put up a better bid than Liverpool?
Contract-wise, yes, but it's United. No one wants to move to United. No one wants to play for you. Like, Kylian Mbappe does not want to play for Man United. If he does, then I need to have a talk with Kylian Mbappe.
Why not?
Guy.
No, but think about it, right? You get Mbappe. It's like the Cristiano moment, right? You get Cristiano, you sell the shirts, everyone's happy for like a month. And then it just
scores a goal against Newcastle, and then it's the second coming.
Yes.
And 2 goals against Newcastle, and then
yeah. But so,
and he has United.
Welcome back to this One World Sports Radio broadcast of the third game for the South African ladies at Rugby World Cup 2021. My name is David Minchley. Alongside me for the next 40 minutes, Otto Simon. Otto, South Africa really being dominated by the English forwards, not having any answers for the ladies in red and white.
None at all. David, it's going to be a tough 40 minutes as a South African fan, but credit where it's due. England looked a well-oiled machine. They made a few handling errors in the first 20 minutes, but that was it. The rest was just absolute class from the English Roses. So well done to them.
The difference in the sides, not only from structure and skill, but also in their way in which they approach the game, the thinking rugby way in which they approach the game. But it's a lot of it will come down to the fact that the English ladies all have professional contracts, where the men do as well, and so the South African ladies don't have, whilst the men do. Game back underway. High hanging kick and knocked backwards by the South Africans, and it looked like Kinsey stepped out there, and so it'll be an English throw to the line out.
Yes, Connie Powell with the throw on the near side of the park, inside the 22. So a good kickoff result here for England. They have possession, and there's some discussion here by the referee. Not happy with the line out again. And Connie Powell is ready to throw. England take it at the front, and the maul is set once again. Can South Africa stop it this time? It's moving forward. It's moving sideways and forward once again. Up to the 5-meter line they go. In control at the back are England. South African players on the floor there, but no penalty yet, as England just go walking forward to the line, and it's another try to England. 41 minutes gone, and it will be 34-0 for England, making it look easy now. Connie Powell with her second try of the evening, her third of the Rugby World Cup 2021, played in 2022.
Yeah, it's just a simple mistake there from the South Africans. allowing the English a gap to dominate through the maul, which they have done so throughout the entire game today. And easy completion there for Connie Powell. Vain attempt from Asezahele. And so now England will have the opportunity to go 36 points ahead in this game. South Africa yet to register points.
Yeah, and Zoe Harrison sends it sailing through the Auckland air, through the middle of the sticks. And that is indeed 36-0, 42 minutes played. Let's see if South Africa can at least get some points on the board here. It's going to be... The game is over as a contest, you have to say, which is one of those weird things in rugby. I don't see South Africa scoring 37 or more points in the 38 minutes that remain. Zana Jordan with a kickoff to the near side of the park. Nadine Roos is there, and England set up the tackle now inside the 10-meter line. The ball goes to the middle of the park. Through the hands of the back line, it goes to the far side of the park and into the hands of the left wing, sailing down the far side touchline, and South Africa managing to tackle her on the 10-meter line, on their own 10-meter line. Another ruck set up here, and this time it's a penalty to South Africa for a side entry into that ruck, and relief for South Africa's Jessica Breach, almost managing to live up to her name and beating the last tackle, but good defense, good scrambling cover defense there. South Africa with a penalty. And it is Eloise Webb, the number 15, who will kick this to the far side touchline, making sure of touch this time. And it will be a Springbok throw-in on the far side of the park, just inside the English half. Eloise Webb with that cover defense tackle there on Jessica Breach. Now Rosaline Botha with the throw into the hands of Katha Jacobs. It goes, the number 5. The maul is set by South Africa this time. Katha Jacobs still has the ball in the middle of the maul. This is a problem for South Africa. They need to get that ball to the back of the maul as soon as possible. It looks like they've done that now. Can they smuggle it back? And England, yes, they do. England struggling to stop South Africa's maul. Zana Jordan into the hands of number 12 for South Africa, Chumisa Kawe. The ball is scrappy at the back, but it's taken forward once again by South Africa up to the England 10-meter line. Asezahele once again goes rumbling forward almost to the 22. It's scrappy at the back, off the feet, says the referee. It's okay, but no, says the referee. There was a knock on, and it is a English scrum on the England, just outside the English 22.
Surprising there, because there was an English player getting a hand to the ball. If you just look at the side here in that ruck, great bit of running there from Asezahele. She just doesn't know how to be tackled. She's made of grease, perhaps, just to slip away from the tackles. And it looked to me like there was an English player on the ground, the opposite side from the referee. I thought the referee's assistant would have picked up the knock on there from the English, but only managing to find it from the South Africans. So hopefully the scrum stands up a lot better this half than it did in the first.
Yes, please. That'll be nice. As Asezahele now the second most meters made in the tournament. Another scrum penalty advantage to England as they send this one to the near side of the field. The kick by England is out on the full, and they will come back for the penalty as that ball was kicked into touch. I'm not sure if the referee signaled advantage over there. Couldn't have been, because it's a scrum penalty. No, says the referee. They will take the line out for South Africa, and that was probably then just a knock-on advantage there for England. And good outcome for South Africa, just outside the 22. They've got the ball in the hands of Rosaline Botha.
It looks like
the referee signaled a substitution. No, she comes back into the line-out, the number 7. And the throw by South Africa goes through the hands of the jumper at the front, but they have the ball. And it goes to Zana Jordan into the hands of Kawe, struggling forward and managing to set up the ruck just outside the 22. Pick and go by South Africa. Up to the 22 they go, almost over the 22-meter line. Asezahele is there, but she's going to leave the ball here for her teammates. Zana Jordan, back it goes to Nadine Roos in the back line from the left wing in the far side of the park, just short of the 22. She's tackled. And now it is the replacement scrum half, Potgieter, who's on the field there. Scrappy at the back once again for South Africa. This time they do knock it on, and the referees pick that up, and it's a scrum to England in the middle of the park, just outside the 22. So it's Rumandi Potgieter from the Blue Bulls, playing her 4th test and her first Rugby World Cup test for South Africa, is the replacement scrum half, replacing Taylor Kinsey.
Yeah, she gets her opportunity today, and pass was fine. Her first touch of the ball was sufficient enough. Great bit of work there from Nadine Roos, just rolling away from the tackler, but she was not able to get enough support for her at the ruck time. England leading 36 points to 0.
Lucy Packer, the number 9 for England, with a put into the scrum, and it's collapsed. Both teams collapsing, says the referee. William Albert says Springbok number 8, Aseza Hele, is outstanding in my opinion. She's the player of the tournament so far. She's definitely going to make the dream team, I would think, with those stats backing her up, and hopefully she gets a contract out of this performance. 36-0 is the score, 48 minutes gone. Scrum is reset.
Rugby in Boland.
That's right. So, playing for the Boland ladies. And she has been substituted.
Yeah, she's...
Right. England with a put into the scrum. And it's out by Packer to the back line. And it's a kick downfield by England. Fielded very nicely by Eloise Webb, the number 15. She tries the chip kick, but it doesn't come off quite nicely. And England have the ball back. But South Africa fumbling there forward. With the knock-on by Eloise Webb as she tries to pick up that ball that went loose after the English player was bumbled into touch there. And Eloise Webb trying to pick up the scraps there, but just knocking it forward on the near side touchline inside the English half. And it'll be a put into the line-out, throw into the line-out by England inside their own half. 48.5 minutes gone, 36-0 the score.
Shanking off the shin there of Nadine Roos, trying to get rid of that one. And that's why she tried to chip it over the top of the oncoming English player. And it just bobbled off the shin there, and that's why she wasn't able to get it cleanly.
No, just could have been a nice attacking move down the near side touchline there for Eloise Webb, but England have possession back. As we see the scrum being set now. South Africa looking a lot better in the scrum here as Packer gets it out to the middle of the park, down the back line. The ball goes now into the hands of Breach with the 15 into the line. Breach is tackled on the South African 10-meter line. South Africa scrambling for the ball. Looks like they might have gotten it back. And no, the English with a counter ruck. And Packer has possession. South Africa leaving their feet at the ruck and conceding the penalty. 36-0 with 49.5 minutes played in the match.
Sizopila Solonsi is replaced Asezahela at the back, and then Nompolelo Mate is now in that lock position where Katha Jacobs was. But yeah, a bit of handling errors there from the Springboks means that England, and also leaving the feet, means that England can move their way forward.
And here come the English bomb squad. The number 17 and the number 20, Vicky Cornborough, number 17 from Harlequins Women, 72 caps, along with Sadia Kabeya from the Loughborough Lightning, making her 6th test appearance for England. With the throw now on the 22-meter line of South Africa. England go rumbling forward with the maul once again. It stopped on the 22 into the hands of the captain. And she goes running over the line and she gets the try there. Marley Packer, the number 7 English captain, gets her first try of the match. With 10 minutes played in the first half, the score moves up to 41 points to 0 in favor of England with an easy conversion to come. So off the back of that maul, Poppy Cleal, the number 8, made the break in the line and sends it into the hands of Marley Packer, running a very good supporting line, handing off one tackler and falling over the try line. Good try by England. Very good.
Nobody could stop her, just handing off the South African defender there, and she can celebrate with her teammates. So 7th try in Rugby World Cups. Great bit of work from the England captain. 41 points to 0 as we head towards the hour mark. Mixed fortunes for Zoe Harrison, but that one goes through. 43 points on the board for the English, and they're just running it up like it's a cricket score.
It is turning into a cricket score, yes, indeed. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka chasing Ireland's score. They are 30 without loss in the men's T20 Cricket World Cup. Now, with the kickoff, is South Africa, and it goes to the near side of the field.
Sine Jordan, South Africa's number 10 for this game. Caught nicely there by England's try scorer and captain Marley Packer. Work for Packer at the back. Wonder if Packers are related. Certainly a possibility. Ball going through the hands. Some space out wide for Breach. She chips and chases. South Africa collect, and now they can turn the tables on the English. Are they able to retain things? Looks like they will not be able to. Penalty advantage for the England. The English Roses. Kicked away. And behind the back catch there from South Africa's Eloise Webb. Great bit of work there. Thumped away by Roos. Collected now at the back. England with a bit of space on that right-hand side touchline. Ball inside for number 12, Tatiana Hurd. She hands it off to Rosie Gallagher, who goes over in the corner. Great bit of work there from the English, rotating it through their hands. And Gallagher gets her 3rd try tonight. It's a hat-trick for the second rower.
Yeah, from Harlequins women, Rosie Gallagher playing her 8th test match. Good support play by the lock as the number 12, Tatiana Hurd, just holding up the defenders. Gallagher gets the pass and she's into the right-hand corner on the far side of the field as we're watching England playing from left to right. And this is truly a blowout score now by England.
Yeah, it's all about those opportunities being taken. And South Africa with too many errors, forced or unforced. It also doesn't help, Otto, when you have 2 players of yours sent off. You know, time spent with only 14 players on the park. This one is shanked. It's hooked left, but shaves right. And so she won't get the required 2 points there. But I suppose you can't be too upset when your team has nearly got 50 points on the board and they are completely unanswered. England women running riot here in Auckland in New Zealand. 48 points to 0. 54 minutes gone.
It's tough to watch as a South African, but let's see if the Springbok ladies can get some points here.
Down to the near side of the park. Good catch by the English captain. Change at number 10 as Kildoon comes on for Harrison. England with ball through the hands. Breaks away from one. Breaks away from another. Can she get her 3rd one gone? No, she's not able to. Pick and go, and the South Africans are saying, oh, there's a knock on there. So they'll have the penalty for themselves there. Good bit of work there from the South Africans to change their fortunes, albeit very briefly. Helena Rowland coming on for Harrison. Change for the South
Another
Africans
replacement
as well.
here. Mm-hmm.
We'll just see who goes off. One of the forwards, the prop forwards, being replaced by Ngolo. Yonela Ngolo. To see who she does make. She replaces Sanelesiwe Charlie for Chelsea Sharks. Just her 19th cap today. Ngolo. She'll want to make an impact immediately at scrum time. She's sat on the side of the park while the South Africans have been absolutely dominated by the Roses. Will the Springboks be able to reverse their fortunes? 55 minutes gone, 5 minutes away from the hour mark. Crouch, bind and set. Feed goes now from Potgieter. She's able to get it out from a far more steady scrum from the South Africans. In the hands now of Mabenge. She's smashed just over the 10-meter line. Better work from the South Africans at ruck and tackle time. Asizahele is back on the park. She doesn't want to go off. Seemingly always on the park. Solonsi maybe making her way again off blood replacement. Horrible bit of work from the South Africans. But Jordan with a bit of space. She sells the dummy and looks for some support out on the left-hand side. Mabenge brought down over halfway. Potgieter trying to see where her options are left and right. England with some hard tackling in the middle of the park. Through the hands, Jordan to Webb, who finds herself with no space and is immediately smashed. South Africa, no forward momentum for them, even though they're in the sixth phase. Pressure on the Springboks. Jordan in the pocket, and this is kicked into space just behind the defensive line. Can England get away forward? Handoff to Dow. Dow's not able to find a recipient for her pass. She then knocks it on, and so England will have to give away the pass to the South Africans as Helena Roland is the cleanup crew there.
Springboks have made 66 tackles to the 59 of England. England missing 23 tackles so far to South Africa's 15 missed tackles. But those 15 missed tackles have been close to their own try line, I would assume. England leading 48-0. 57 minutes almost gone. Number 22 is on the park. Yaki Cilliers making her World Cup debut. And it is not Jackie, but Yaki, short for Yakumin. She's the number 22. She replaces Mabenge on the right wing.
Leopards replacing Eastern Province Queens. So just a third cap today for Yaki Cilliers. She'll want to get her hands on the ball immediately. Hele has now gone to the lock position, rather the flanker's position on the near side. Open side flank. There we go. Feed now. Better scrum from the Springboks. Much better from them. Bomb squad not yet making impact for the English. Kawe brought down in the middle of the park. Jumke pick and go, but not able to find some space. Good catch. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. It was a low throw there from Potgieter, not the intended target, and a sour look from one of the South Africans as they get up once again. So it'll be a scrum now in the middle of the park. England to feed as we head towards the hour mark. 2.5 minutes remaining in this hour of play. Molly Packett, 9 carries, 44 carry meters. Great bit of work from her today. Truly a captain's performance.
She's led from the front here. Molly Packer in her 86th test match for England.
Burtis ducking her head down, and bind is the set call from bind is the call from the Kiwi referee. Pick and go from the back. Good bit of work from the English. Running out of space, but able to evade a tackler. Packer again at the back of the ruck. Dictating play. Forward there from Cornborough. She's able to get some momentum. England handing off one, handing off another. Galligan with already 3 tries. Can she get a fourth? Brought down over the 23-meter line. Quick play there from the English. Breaking away through 2 tackles is telling. Is she able to cut off the South African defense? Great bit of work there to bring her down. Middle of the park. An option for the number 13, Atchison. She immediately hands it off, and South Africa having to do a lot of work there from Tatiana Hurd. Great bit of passing there and over the try line. England with 50 points in Auckland. It was a good team effort there, rolling through the hands, one player after another. They're absolutely queued up, and it's the second for Poppy Cleal.
Yeah, 50 up for England, 53-0. Poppy Cleal with Lerato Makua hanging on to her shoulders, just rumbles it through Eloise Webb and over the line for another English try. And just absolute class here by England.
Poppy Cleal showing what England forwards can do. Shanked wide this time. And another conversion opportunity missed. You wonder, Otto, as England head towards the knockout phases of this competition, whether or not things like that, missing conversions here and there, or perhaps penalty goals not going through the uprights, whether it could count in much tighter encounters, perhaps against New Zealand or indeed the French women.
I have no doubt that it will play a role, and that it's something that England will need to address. As Zanay Jordan with another kickoff for South Africa goes to the near side of the park, collected by Marley Packer, the English captain. She's brought down just outside the 22 in the middle of the park. South Africa trying to compete to the ball, called off it by the referee into the hands of Tatiana Hurd once again, and she breaks through a few tackles, hands off another one. Eloise Webb stops her just outside the 10-meter line of South Africa. Packer with the ball at the back now, goes down the back line for England into the hands of the number 23, Helena Rowland. And another recycled possession here into the hands of the number 14, Abigail Dow, down the near side touchline over the 5-meter line. She's brought down. Open try line for number 20. She falls over. Sadia Kabeya gets the try for England. And it's 58-0 now, 61 minutes gone.
Yeah, it was nothing that the South Africans could do.
It's the number 20, the replacement, Sadia Kabeya. And she gets her first try of the tournament. Excellent play here by England. Tatiana Hurd, the number 12, just rumbling down the field, followed up by good phase play, good support play by England. Always another player to pass to, as Dow was brought down there, as I mentioned, 5 meters short. And Sadia Kabeya gets the pass, and all she needs to do is take 3 steps forward and fall onto the grass. Now, with another conversion attempt, is the number 13, Holly Atchison, taking over the kicking duties from Zoe Harrison, but she's not kicking any better. 62 minutes gone, 58-0. If you're scoring this amount of tries, the kicks won't obviously factor into it. But yes, David, as you mentioned, going forward, England will need to find a better kicker. So, 10 visits to the opposition, 22 for England versus 7. And in those 10 visits, they've scored 58 points to the 0 of South Africa. Yet another kickoff for South Africa. It's going to be the number 22, Yaki Salier, to kick off. She goes long and to the near side of the park, collected there. That looks like Atchison, and she kicks it downfield. Good clearing kick, and the lineout will be set up in the Springbok half, round about the 10-meter line of the Springboks. Rosalie Botha with the throw. It's just inside the 10-meter line of the Springboks. Wow, what a kick there by Holly Atchison. She's got the boot, she just needs to work on her accuracy. It's the replacement hooker that throws in for South Africa. Potgieter, the scrum half, with the throw down the line. And Aseza Hele goes once again, rumbling forward for South Africa. Potgieter at the back. Gets it into the hands of Zanay Jordan, who kicks it forward. Far side of the park, 50 meters in. On the halfway line, it's collected by Sarah McKenna, who rumbles forward, hands it off to one of her teammates. Packer now at the back for England. They go over the 10-meter line of the Springboks in the middle of the park. Packer once again. Atchison in the line. And Tatiana Hurd gets the ball through the hands. It goes into the hands of the left wing now. And she gets the support. She passes inside, 6 meters away from the South African try line. She's tackled. McKenna into the hands of the number 20. Rumbling forward goes Poppy Cleal, it looks like. And it is Gallagher, the number 4, storming forward with a pick and go. Good defense here by South Africa, holding it up. England with a pass down to the far side. There's nobody there for South Africa. And Dow goes over the line on the far side of the park. and she's standing in the left wing position there. Abigail Dow with her first try of the evening. 64 minutes gone, and it's 63-0. Now this is becoming really embarrassing for South Africa. They need to stand up to these roses and just make it a bit more of a contest. But just running out of players everywhere England go, there's a gap. Good scrambling defence there to stop that first move down the near side touchline, but then nobody at home as the ball just goes through the hands of the back line and Dow falls over for the try.
Yeah, mentally the South Africans are defeated here. The English even switching their left and right wings. Abigail Dow on the left-hand side, and in the build-up to that movement, we saw Jessica Breach on the right-hand side. But all the England coaching staff can do is applaud, because it's been an incredible performance from the Roses today. Dominant, as the conversion is missed inside.
Yeah, Atchison with a kick. Yeah, that's a difficult conversion, but that doesn't matter for England at the moment. But let's see how they go in the rest of the tournament. They are absolutely showing why they are the best in the world. The number one team in the world, the English Roses. 63-0. Another kickoff for Yaki Sillier goes to the near side, collected by Packer, the captain. She's tackled by Nadine Roos, who's there once again. Packer, the scrum half, now to the number 10, kicks the ball to the near side touchline, collected by Romandi Potgieter into the hands of Eloise Webb. She goes with the pass to the near side of the field. The number 19 there, Mate, takes it up and she's tackled. Potgieter at the back, down the line they go, and first pass ruck for South Africa. Pick and go by the number 3. She's brought down in the middle of the park, just outside the 22. Potgieter with a throw to to the number 23, Chuma Kawe, the other twin, and she knocks it on in the middle of the park, just outside the South African 22. 66 minutes played, 63 points to 0. Yes, our scorecard is correct, and it is number 1 in the world playing number 13 in the world. And it's showing on the scorecard as well. Let's hope that South Africa can at least get a try, some kind of score. Zanay Jordan with a thumbs up there, a little bit of a wry smile there. And she's played her 13th Rugby World Cup game, probably her last appearance in the World Cup. South Africa's most capped lady, Zanay Jordan, on the bench. And now you can see the disappointment on her face as the smile fades. 58% possession for England so far. There's a bit of a break in play. There's an injury to a South African player. And it looks like South Africa have cleared their bench. Another interesting fact, Chumisa and Chuma Kawe from Border is the first pair of twins to play for South Africa in a World Cup.
Yeah, if you're hearing Kawe and Kawe, we're not just guessing somebody else's surname and attributing it to somebody else, but yes, Chumisa and Chuma Kawe putting their name on the team sheet for today with their performances. And so Stanley Robenheimer going with the twin effect, but not showing its fruit here for the South Africans yet to get on the board. And that's not something that they'll want to preach too loudly about, will the South Africans. Tough day at the office, and looks like Zoe Aldcroft is going to make her way on the park here with 14 minutes remaining.
I mentioned the South African replacement hooker, Mika Gunter from the Cell C Sharks. She's into the scrum now, in the middle of the park, right on the 22-meter line. And Lucy Packer for England will have the put into the scrum. 67 minutes played now, 63 points to 0. And let's see if South Africa can hold out. Steady scrum here. Good, solid scrum by South Africa, as opposed to all the others that have crumbled. And now it does crumble, and another penalty advantage to England in the scrum. And it is indeed another scrum penalty to the English Roses, right in the middle of the park, on the 22-meter line. All the options available for England. And Faizan Akhtar asks 67 minutes out of how many? Welcome, Faizan. Rugby is 40 minutes per half, so there's another 13 minutes left to play. 12 minutes almost now, as we're coming up to the 68th minute. And England will kick the ball to the far side of the park, and the ball goes over the far side touchline. They will set up the line out on the 5-meter line of South Africa on the far side of the field, as we see England playing left to right on our screens. And the English Roses. Oh, Faizan has got some money on the game. He went under 68 points win for England. So Faizan, you better start cheering the South African ladies. Hopefully they can save your blushes there. 12 minutes to play, and only 5 points until Faizan loses his bet. So Faizan, we're definitely hoping that you can make some money today. There's a maul set by England off the top of the throw of the line out to the front, and South Africa managing to get this ball to the try line, but England marching forward once again, inevitable, and falling over the line is the hooker for England with her second try, I think, Connie Powell. No, it's her third try, another hat-trick for England. And now Faizan, 68 points to 0. So England leads South Africa with a kick to come, but luckily for you, England haven't been kicking too well. We see also Lucy Packer has been replaced, Leanne Infante. She's the replacement scrum half on the park for England. And we see a replay now of Connie Powell falling over for her third try of the evening. And how many of England scored now? I've lost count. But the score is 68 points to 0. Atchison with the attempted conversion. And she kicks this one, sails through the air, and it's missed across the face of the uprights. So 10 minutes to play, and South Africa will have yet another kickoff. 68 points to 0. Faizan, we're holding thumbs here. Can South Africa just get something on the board here to save their blushes against this mighty team? Take us home, Coach Dave.
Just 10 minutes left in this game. Wakatere Stadium in Auckland, Aotearoa, New Zealand. South Africa will have the kickoff through Yaki Saliers. High into the air, an opportunity to chase. What a smashing tackle by Nadine Roos, giving it all right until the end here. England able to maintain possession. Infante finding a forward who gets smashed in the middle of the park. England trying to get out of their own back garden. Can they get some forward momentum moved? Referee saying use it in the pocket for Atchison, who thumps this away. She has a boot and a half on her. Good catch there by the South African replacement. Yaki Saliers gets some momentum but not able to get forward. Is there space at the back for Potgieter to dig this ball out? There is indeed. As Babalwa Lacha shoved back a little bit. South Africa not able to get really some forward momentum. A bit of a fumble there means that they're having to try and do some cleanup work at the back. Potgieter looking for Saliers. Finding Saliers but not getting anything in terms of driving ball. Through the hands go the Springboks. Far too deep are the Springboks. But now with an opportunity out wide for the ladies in green and gold. Halfway line, and Potgieter's digging deep in that ruck to try and find her way through. Sixth phase now for the Springboks. Potgieter turns it to 7. Fumbling error at the back, and so there'll be a knock on, and the English will have a scrum once again. Pats on the backs there, but it's just been poor from the Springboks all over today. They started really well, but Otto, since that third try, it's just been roses all day, every day.
Yeah, and Faizan asking how many minutes are left. Faizan, we're going to go to 80 minutes. Might have some extra time, but there's 8 minutes left to play now. 68 under, I would have gone for that. at the start of the match, before the start of this game. South Africa, a little bit disappointing, but England just absolutely in control of this match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have the scrum.
Amy Cocaine, Cokaine, just in case anybody was wondering to try and get us cancelled. And there's a knock on there by the English scrum half there. It's a basic error. She was just past the ball from Poppy Cleel and maybe just got too excited there.
Yeah, another handling error. 7.5 minutes left in the match. 68 points to 0, and South Africa have the scrum in the middle of the park, just inside their own half. Let's see if the replacements can work some magic. Looks like Jackie Sillier is quite a good ball carrier as she went down that far side touchline. Referee not happy with the scrum. And
yeah, just
Alan OWNZ says, why is there no mercy rule? Yeah, it is a bit of a cricket score at the moment. A Paksla, South Africa getting hammered here.
Yeah, it was the same for the South Africans the first time these two sides met. You mentioned that the South Africans are conceding 3 figures in that game. A rough day at the office for the Springbok ladies in that day. 101 points to 0 at Imber Court in London in May of 2005. So South Africa not close to their biggest loss, but boy, oh boy, is this an embarrassment. Another penalty scrum from the South Africans. Front row standing up in this instance, and England's bomb squad showing complete domination.
6 minutes left, 68 points to 0.
Yeah, Atchison will thump this away to the near side touchline. Just over the 22-meter line is where the assistant referee marks out for the replacement hooker, Cocaine. Good throw there, finding her jumper. Good take and pick and go from the English, handing off one. The South African defense there, but it's not as resolute and stout as they perhaps would have liked. Kabir getting over the halfway, over the gain line rather. Hands now. England always seem to have a spare player, and Gallagher with another try. That must be her fourth. Certainly it is. 4 tries today from Gallagher. She's never scored a try before today, but boy oh boy, has she made the most of it. It's 73 points to 0 for the English rather.
Alan OWNZ says, at some point there needs to be a way to just kill time and not embarrass your opponent anymore and risk injury. Yeah, it's rough when there are these kind of mismatches. And I was thinking about it the other day. We saw the same thing in the men's game, where you had these blowout scores in the World Cup matches where teams meet each other that are nowhere near on the same level. And these days, oh no, it looks like there was a knock-on by Gallagher as she went over the line. So Faizan is holding his breath with 5 minutes left. That try might be disallowed.
Yeah, it looks like there's quite clear daylight between hand and ball. The two Kiwis having a chat, referee and television match official. No try is the call.
Oh.
So scrum.
Faizan breathes a sigh of relief.
I think he's going to have to share with us those winnings.
Well, here come England once again. Knock on over the line. It's a goal line dropout, it looks like, for South Africa. Yeah, throw us some of that winnings there, Faizan, if you make it through. Patreon.com/OneWorldSR.
Jackie Siller's high hanging kick. Nobody really chasing it down for the Springboks. Really just flat in their movement. Trying to get a steal there as a Sezahele, but she's got the referee blowing her whistle, and it's a knock-on before that. So scrum once again for the English, and you almost expect a formality here or two. with the way things have been going for both sides in terms of scrum time.
Yeah, let's see if South Africa can make it through a scrum without conceding a penalty. So that's a target there for the ladies. 4 minutes left to play. 68 points to 0. England lead. As Tatiana Hurd is down injured, there's a break in play.
Made 9 carries today, 3 try assists. Absolutely wonderful game for her. 68
as I was
points
saying,
to 0, 5 minutes left.
Yeah, these days teams like Japan, Fiji, Uruguay, Georgia, those teams are putting up a fight in the World Cup. It's no longer such a mismatch. So let's hope that the exposure that these ladies get in these tournaments, in this tournament, will help. Certainly, Aseza Hele is going to go get an English contract for sure. Somewhere, someone is going to give her a nice big hand up, a nice big leg up, I should say, and fully expecting her to play professionally for the next 4 years at least.
And the impact that'll make is incredible. Leon Infant handing it off from the back of the scrum rather. Handoff there as Abigail Dow finds herself in her correct position at right wing. Truck and trailer stuff here from the English as they get over the gain line. Swarmed by the Springboks, but they're not able to steal it away. England with an opportunity for Dow. 3 meters short. Will she be chucked out? No, she won't. Infant looking for a reception. Finding it in the end after a bit of a handover. Infant again. Looking for an opportunity. 6th phase now. Getting towards that try line. Cornborough getting on her bike here, but held up by the Springboks. Pick and go from the back of the ruck. The referee's having to swing round the pole. And it is a try for England. It's another one. And Faizan's opportunity to collect some cash may yet be alive because the referee's going upstairs here for a query on that try. I think there's going to be a question of, well, is there any reason why I may not award the try rather than I've seen something?
Yeah, ball placed over the line underneath the posts. 3 minutes left. Faizan, the 5 points were taken off because the try by Rose Galligan was disallowed. She knocked the ball on over the try line. Let's see a replay here. The ball is placed, and it's placed. You can't score onto the post anymore, but that ball looks to be on the line there.
Oh, I don't know if she's gotten it down. There you go.
Maybe short, and then rolled forward.
2 attempts. I think that's possible.
Yeah, it's the number 20 Kabeya, Sadia Kabeya, forcing her way forward, placing the ball forward, which she is allowed to do, and this time the try is awarded. And sorry, Faizan, this time this try will stand after the TMO has checked it, the video referee, and it's 73-0 with the kick to come, which will make it 75-0 to England. It's an easy conversion from right in front, and the flags go up.
73 points to 0. 77.5 minutes gone in this encounter between South Africa and England. 2-time world champions England. South Africa nowhere near their counterparts in this game, and the gap is fully bare for everybody to see. Surprisingly, South Africa with a similar type of gap between them and Fiji. Never the two shall meet before that encounter, and so they should have done a lot better than they did. England with the ball just over the 22-meter line. Infant looking for something, and the referee says, somebody's not on their feet, and it's Nadine Roos that is guilty. The only one who seems to be wanting to chase down kicks today, young Nadine Roos. Her 11th cap today. Plays for the Blue Bulls woman, and kept inside by the Springboks. This is a great bit of work here. Potgieter running into some traffic, and now somebody else will have to do the hard work of a scrum half. Roos fighting off some counter-rucking by the Roses. Into traffic goes Kawe. Not supported this time by Kawe. Just for double confusion. Potgieter into the hands of Kawe this time. In the middle of the park. Is there a turnover opportunity for England? No, there isn't. Potgieter throwing it out wide. Roos, not a lot of space available to her. Brought down by Dow. Turnover ball. No. South Africa arriving a little bit late for Lacha. And so South Africa, Solonsi rather. Sixth phase now for the box. Nearly an intercept, and there has, I think, been an intercept in the middle of the park. Good bit of work by in front. And the referee says, well, we'll come back and think about life, because I'm not happy with that. Upstairs goes the referee, presumably for some dangerous play or two.
Yeah, 30 seconds left, 75 points to 0. I thought I saw an impact there in defense as England, their defense just keeps pushing South Africa back. The TMO is Lee Jeffrey of New Zealand Rugby, assisted there by a lady who's doing the technical work for him, I would assume. Let's see. Yeah, there is contact, head-on-head contact there from number 18. That is Sarah Byrne. And she made contact with the head there of one of the Tawish sisters, I think.
Yes.
So that's going to be shoulder and head to the face.
You've got to ask the question. Yes, I understand that it plays a role in later in the game in terms of numbers. Later in the tournament when it comes to the number of yellow cards committed and perhaps leading to a suspension. But 30 seconds off, you may as well just, as a player, don't even go sit down, just go straight to the change room.
Yeah, that's true, and it's going to be. It might have an impact in the rest of the tournament. I think that rugby should do what the football authorities do, where 2 yellow cards in 2 consecutive matches, and you miss the next match, and so that could be a factor. But I don't think rugby is doing that yet. So the referee is having a chat now
with Byrne. Zoe Aldcroft, the captain at the moment. So Byrne will make her way off the park and presumably straight to the change room for an early shower.
Yeah, so 27 seconds left on the clock. Penalty to South Africa. And Jakumin Cillier from the Northwest Leopards doesn't find touch.
England now continuing to move forward, probably killing a bit of time. Infant finds some hands in the middle of the park, and it's those of Poppy Cleal, who's had an absolutely incredible game. She's back again at the ruck, pick and go. Infant near side of the park. England retaining possession, not wanting to kick this out. They lead by 75 points. You would think that the misery would be forthcoming, and South Africa have knocked the ball on. Rather not. It is England that are off their feet. I truly thought that Aseza Hele knocked that ball on, but off the feet there from the English. And so South Africa with some late opportunities after the hooter here, Otto Simon, to possibly get some points. Tap and go. And they've run into traffic and nobody really knew what was going on there from the Springboks. Now they have to find some structure in their play. Potgieter, Roos, out wide on the near side of the park. Cut back inside. Roos finding her own space. Cilliers with support from Eloise Webb. Not able to get forward momentum there is Azisa Mkiva, the replacement hooker, prop rather. Kawe, one of the two, with support from Kawe. Potgieter at the back, digging deep. South Africa not willing to let this game go. Short of halfway. Good bit of work from Simamkele Namba. Nearly an intercept there. Good bit of retention there by Eloise Webb, the number 15 jersey. She's come on as a replacement for the first 2 games, this time getting a start. Hooter well gone. It's 81 minutes and 36 seconds gone. Ball through the hand. Smash tackle. There's a knock on, and that will almost certainly be the game. The Springboks knocking it on. Tap and go from the English. They're not wanting to let this game die at all. Looks like the English eventually have had enough, and that's it. That's the end of the South African World Cup campaign. The 2-time winners running riot against the South Africans, and they can only be disappointed with themselves because of the way that they played so well against France, let things slip against Fiji, and absolutely routed by the world number 1 English.
Yeah, 75-0 is the full-time score in Watakere Stadium, Auckland, New Zealand. Sure, not much to say about that. The English were just in a different class today, and disappointing performance by South Africa at the end of the day. We were hoping for a bit more of fight, but England just too good.
Yeah, tough day at the office for the Springboks. They'll come away with some positives ahead of their next fixture, but the English will run on in this tournament, seeking to lift the Rugby World Cup trophy. Don't forget that you can always support us at OneWorldSR on Twitter. You can also join us on YouTube by going to our YouTube channel if you're not watching and listening there. If you're on Facebook, so come to the YouTube channel, One World Sports Radio. Ding the bell. You'll know exactly when we go live. Subscribe. And you can also support us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/OneWorldSR. You want to join our commentary team, admin at onewsr.com. And we will be back with you as the rugby team in 12 days as the men take on the Ireland as part of the end of year tour. 5th of November, live from Ireland. South Africa will be looking to change their fortune. They had a mixed go at Rugby Championship 2022. It went down to the last game of the tournament, not able to get the points required against Argentina, with New Zealand winning that tournament. So they'll hope to improve upon their performances, perhaps a little bit more of consistency. But Otto, if you were Stanley Robbenheimer, the South African women's coach, what positives would you take away from this World Cup campaign?
Aseza Hele, definitely a great performance by her in this tournament. We saw that some of the stalwarts, the Springbok players, didn't perform that well, so he wielded the axe and gave some debut games to some of these Rugby World Cup debuts to a lot of the players in this team today. There is some talent there. There is something to work with there. I think the recent success that South Africa had against Spain and Japan were good signs. Both those teams above South Africa in the world rankings. And when you're down, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So let's hope that South Africa can learn from this experience. It would have been a great learning curve for a lot of these ladies, and hopefully they can build on this. But just a big gap between us and the rest of the world, definitely.
Absolutely. So thank you to Otto Simon and to all the team at One World Sports Radio. We'll be with you in 12 days for the men's game against Ireland. But until then, please, there are podcasts you need to listen to. Cheap Seats, the full quota for cricket. There's Date Night Drip. There's everything you will need from your sporting fix. And from myself and Otto Simon, have a good morning.
Goodbye.